Hey everybody, just want to share a quick little insight from my City General Conference this morning. While I was working out of the gym, I was listening to the April 1932 General Conference, and Elder Joseph F. Merrill of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles was speaking, and he was speaking about the plague of our time, selfishness. And he specifically was talking about how selfishness is causing the destruction of the United States of America. And he then quotes from the first presidency letter that they issued for Christmas, where they talked about all the things going on in the world, and that the reason was because we had departed from the Christ-like principles taught by the gospel, and that we had become a selfish people. And the message was great. And then he goes on and goes, now, in the spirit of this message, I want to apply this a bit more to the government. And he's like, we are fast approaching a fiscal cliff. 1932. And he says that we must balance our budget or we will see the destruction of our economic system. And then he says there are only two ways that you can balance your budget. You can either A, cut spending, or B, increase taxes. And both of these options are being destroyed by selfishness. Everyone says, oh yeah, cut the spending. And then he points out the fact that we will say cut the spending, but when the spending cuts affect us, we will raise up in arms and we will freak out. And he goes, that's selfishness. You cannot say cut the spending in the other 49 states, but don't touch Utah. Utah needs to be, we cut spending over there, but not over here. And then he goes, and the same thing happens with taxes, because if you don't want to cut spending, the only way to not have fiscal insanity and dissolution of our economy is you have to increase taxes. And he goes, and a lot of people are starting to clamor, increase taxes. And they're like, okay, your taxes are going to go up. They're like, no. Increase taxes on the rich. Increase taxes on the middle class or on the poor class, but not me. Just other people, but not me. And he goes, that is selfishness. If we are to avoid this fiscal situation, we must be unselfish. And we must realize that if we don't choose that option, the other option is chaos. And I just thought this is a message worth repeating, because here in 2025, as our debt has exploded well over $30 trillion, we face a similar situation. Are we going to choose selfishness and say cuts for thee and not for me, taxes for thee and not for me? Or are we going to choose unselfishness and say, hey, you know what? Everyone's going to need to tighten their belt a little bit, because unfortunately it's going to have to hit us both ways, because there is a third option. And the third option is utterly horrific. The third option happened shortly after Elder Merrill gave this talk with the Weimar Republic. And they chose the option of just print more money. And printing more money caused inflation. Those who had assets, the rich, were able to have their assets increase in value. And those who didn't have assets lost everything.